The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hi, it's Chris Carosa again, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. Each week we bring you the Mayor's and Supervisors update, and guess what? It's that time again. So let's get right started with Rick Milne, the Mayor of Honeoye Falls. Rick, what's new and happening in Honeoye Falls?
Hey, Chris, thanks for having us all on again. It's been a busy week, right? We've had a lot of things going on, but regarding COVID, et cetera, the village office remains open. We are continuing to ask for appointments, and obviously people must sign in and wear a mask when in the building. And we're going to continue to have our staff splitting the office hours each work week. And that's going to continue through February, but we expect to be fully staffed. We hope to be fully staffed again March 1st. Our various board meetings, community meetings will continue to be both virtual and with a committee attendance, however, virtual for all residents. And it's my hope to allow some form of residential direct attendance in the March timeframe. But again, with the COVID socially distanced protocols, that remains a little bit difficult. And our building and our boardroom, of course, is relatively small. So by the time we fit our group in there and have them socially distanced, it becomes a challenge. So again, Supervisor Moffitt and Town of Mendon has been very gracious in allowing us to use the community center when needed, and we may be tapping them again for that. The big thing this week, of course, was the snowstorm earlier in the week. Our highway and DPW staff did an incredible job overall. They were out again Friday afternoon at the end of the week. They were out cleaning up the sidewalks one more time because we're now back in our deep freeze scenario, right? So we were trying to get the sidewalks cleaned one more time before the next storm and or deep freeze hit. So they were out and we did the best we could with it. The one thing I wanted to mention along those lines is I feel our biggest issue has been with a very limited few number of commercial plowers that are pushing snow directly onto the sidewalks. We know these types of storms are very, very difficult to deal with, but it really creates a problem for the many walkers we have in our community. The Honeoye Falls is a walking community, and when the commercial plowers are cleaning driveways and then pushing the snow directly onto sidewalks, that really creates an issue. And I have to say, it's a very limited few that are doing that. We know it's a difficult job and we appreciate the commercial plowers, but we just ask residents, if you've got a contract with somebody, just remind them, don't push the snow onto the sidewalks. But we continue to do the best we can with that. Again, with the weather that we had this past week where it was really cold, we had a lot of snow, and then all of a sudden we had those couple of days towards the middle and end of the week that the sun popped out, which was great, made it feel a lot warmer, but then some of that snow starts melting, we get more and more dripping onto the sidewalks, and then it gets cold again, it freezes up. So although we don't salt the sidewalks a lot, we have had our staff trying to do a little bit of that in front of some of the businesses and on some of the main walkways downtown. It's just, it's a struggle. So people, you just have to continue to really be careful when you're walking around on the village sidewalks. We do the best we can, but they are slippery. And then of course, the village budget process is underway. We're looking forward to the work sessions on this. We'll be starting February 27th as our first workshop, if you will. We're doing individual workshops in the office now, but every Saturday, February 27th through basically the month of March, we have 3 or 4 Saturdays in a row scheduled. 8 a.m. is the budget meeting. It's a workshop. It is open to the public. I'll, again, be upfront with everyone. We generally don't have many people show up, but we will have that set up virtually as well. So if somebody wants to log in and listen in, it's not an exciting process, but they are welcome to that. And then any minutes, anytime someone wants to see the budget, that is certainly public record. All they have to do is set up an appointment at the village office to come down and peruse it. If they want a copy, we can print a copy for them, etc. So it's pretty much an open book. Our goal, as always, is to try to have a very flat budget with zero increase. And that's, that's a challenge every year, but that's our goal. So that's really where we're at right now, Chris. And thank you again for the opportunity. It's great to see everybody.
Thanks, Rick. So Mike, how about the town of Lima? What do we got going on there?
Well, thanks to our snow workers for all of the plowing and the other things, including the mailbox repair that always comes with these large storms. You'll be hearing behind me the elevator construction continues. We did find out, and you may not realize, that every elevator gets its own telephone number along with a copper line, so that if someone gets stuck inside, they can push a button and call somebody. So we're looking forward to that. The Lima Town Board met this past Tuesday. The Article 250 hearing that we have open continues to remain open. This is regarding agribusiness definitions and land uses. Formal input has been received from the Livingston County Planning Board, the Lima Planning Board, and the Agricultural Advisory Board. A lot of discussion at this past meeting, and the public hearing will remain open until the March 2nd board meeting. Big welcome to the Vanilla Lane Bakery that has had its grand opening this past Wednesday. I can vouch for the apricot scones. They are delicious. It is right next door to the Lima Pharmacy, right there at the Four Corners where the urgent care used to be. Shifting a little bit, under the COVID vaccine area from Livingston County, please bear in mind that your first dose is only 32% effective. The second dose is what makes it 95% effective. We are seeing a very bad second dose return rate for people who are supposed to get their second dose, making their appointments and not showing, or simply never making an appointment and the time going by. If you got the first dose, please make the appointment and keep it for the second dose so that you can get that 95% effective shield, as it were. With the end of the year, the Veterans Administration added more presumptive conditions for Vietnam veterans. Hypothyroidism, bladder cancer, and Parkinsonism, which is Parkinson-like symptoms. This is fairly significant as it opens up claims for veterans who have one of these items, or in the case of veterans who have passed away from one of those things, for their surviving spouses, dependents, etc., to be able to file claims. The Vietnam era of military service was also changed. So instead of a start date of February 28th, 1961, it is now November 1st, 1955. So that opens up a whole new group of people to be able to take advantage of the benefits that are available to Vietnam service folks. There are pages and pages of changes that went into effect that have to do with women's veterans and the education benefits and all of those things. Too many to list here. Call your Veterans Services officer to get updated and see if there is something that you are eligible for to get you some help. In Livingston County, that phone number is 585-243-7960. That's 243-7960. And lastly then, to build on last week, I had the Livingston County Real Property Office run a few numbers. And for the HFL school district portion that is in Livingston County, the average cost of a veteran's school tax exemption is 3.3 cents per thousand of assessed value, which translating, that's 33 bucks on a $100,000 house. Again, I encourage the school board to enact a veterans exemption that is all encompassing, includes veterans, Cold War vets, et cetera. And it is the least we can do for our veterans. Thanks, Chris.
All right, thank you, Mike. Eileen, you're up. You're next, and you're unmuted. Way to go.
I anticipated. Okay. Again, as the other gentlemen have said, thank you to our DPW for the excellent work this past week during our snowstorm. They were out at 2 a.m. on Wednesday plowing our roads, our sidewalks, and worked all through Wednesday, continuing to plow and clean up, as well as take care of the recycling. So a big thank you to them. They are a wonderful crew, and they did this even being one man short that day. Okay, along with the sidewalks, we plowed the sidewalks. Just a reminder to people that we plow them as a courtesy. They're good about keeping up with that, but residents and businesses need to remember they need to maintain them. So keep a little salt on hand and salt in front of your house or business, which will make walking a lot easier. Again, there's no parking on the roads between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the village of Scottsville from November 1st to April 1st. It makes plowing a whole lot easier. Knowing that the storm was coming, we really got ahead of the game and reminded people to get those cars off the roads right away. And I think they only had one car that was a problem in all their plowing. So thank you very much. Our board meeting is this Tuesday, February 9th at 6:30 p.m. It will be remote. You can find the link on our website or Facebook page. It will begin at 6:30 p.m. Again, as some of our mayors and supervisors are saying, we're kind of taking it month by month, and hopefully in the next month or so, we'll be able to have people in. Right now, the building is still closed to foot traffic. You need to make an appointment. So please remember to do that, and someone will come and let you in. At the board meeting this week, we have 2 public hearings that are coming up. One is the tax cap override, which we do as a precautionary measure each year. It's not my intent to go over the tax cap, but we always are prepared. Secondly, the second public hearing is to release monies in the general equipment reserve for the purchase of a chainsaw not to exceed $1,400 for the DPW. This is needed for all their tree work that they do in the spring and summer. They are doing this now, and they'll be prepared for the summer work. One of the things I want to mention is that this money is from the DPW bought a snow blower, and there was leftover money in that on that line, and so they're asking to use the rest of the money to purchase this chainsaw. Third, there's a resolution to purchase a 1-ton dump truck for the DPW. And we've got all the information. We've checked the quote. The board is familiar with this, and we are doing this just to have it on record. We've discussed it with the DPW, and we've been very lucky this year. A lot of the things that we're purchasing at this point for the DPW, we are able to take care of in this year's budget. So, and considering all the problems we've had with budgets this year, we are very lucky. The money for this dump truck will be coming from our sewer fund and CHIPS money. So we're glad about that. Our operational plan is about finished. We're getting it cleaned up and typed up for the state. The one piece that we will be working on later and working as a policy for our village is the remote working piece, especially with a health emergency. You may have people working remotely, and we want to make sure that everything is taken care of for security reasons. Local laws regarding the planning and zoning board that we took care of last month have been filed with the state. And at this point, that's about all that I have today.
All right. Thank you very much, Eileen. John, how about the town of Mendon? Is there anything new or happening there?
Couple of things, Chris. First of all, thanks as always for having us. Our town hall remains open to the public. Our normal hours, which are 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday, and 8 to 1 on Friday. We do have a town board meeting on Monday, February 8th, 7 o'clock at the community center. We'll have a public hearing on our comprehensive plan, which we've been working on for between 18 and 24 months. It's been a bit of a process, but we'll probably be adopting it pending the results of the public hearing on Monday. So we'll be proceeding in that fashion. I just wanted to mention, as everyone else is, because of the snow activity and given this winter, that was a considerable storm we had. I think some years we would consider that a normal day, but we have shifted our highway personnel so that we have a shift that's on from 7 to 3 and another one from 3 to 11. So we had plows out the night that the storm started until about close to 11 o'clock. And then the next group was out shortly after 3 a.m. Because we are operating with 2 shifts and given the amount of snow that came down, the highway superintendent utilized myself due to the fact that I do have a commercial driver's license and I do have some a small amount of experience plowing back in the 1970s. So I was out as well in a smaller truck helping out the crew. So I makes me appreciate the job that they do. And also, you know, I'm always happy to help out where needed. So we'll continue with the shifts, but basically because of COVID, but also it has helped us, you know, react to some of these snow situations as they have come up this year. We have put internet into the community center. Our goal there is to not only meet live if COVID permits, but also to provide it virtually, not so that any residents who are not comfortable coming to the meetings can participate virtually. So we are proceeding. We've got kind of a little test case coming up on February 8th that won't be available to the public. We want to do it kind of in-house first just to make sure we work out any bugs. But hopefully by our March meeting, we want to be able to broadcast that simultaneously with anyone who wants to come in attendance. People will be able to comment with public comment if they're there in person or virtually. And we'll hopefully move that to our planning and zoning boards as well, that feature. So we'll hope to move into that as the year progresses. As others have mentioned, budgetary wise, we are in the beginning of our budget. Towns are on the calendar year, so we're in the beginning of our budget. Our budget is posted on our website. Certainly, if anybody ever wanted a copy, we'd be more than happy to run a copy for them because it is several pages. And the last thing I'd like to mention is pilots in lieu of taxes. This is something that's kind of confusing, and I've definitely learned a lot about it. We've had a couple of recent applications to the county, which basically means that a business comes in and they apply for a tax break. And we've seen that with a couple of businesses that have come into the village of Honeoye Falls. It's affected the village, the town, the county, the school district. So one of the things it does is it brings jobs in. It provides a boost to the economy, obviously, because hopefully those employees are spending money locally and participating in a lot of our local businesses, which of course we encourage, but it does give them a tax break. And there is a ramification of that to everyone else when a business gets a pilot. So for instance, the most recent one, which is in the Village on Quaker Meeting House Road at the former Branson, their pilot is just on any additions that they put on the building. So whatever Branson was paying in taxes, the new business Hyzon will continue to pay that in taxes. But as they put additions on and things like that, they will get a tax break that will go on for a 10-year period, assuming they meet all the requirements of the pilot. So it's kind of a confusing subject, but I did want to mention it to people that just so people are aware of it. We certainly are encouraging businesses. I don't want to speak for Mayor Milne, but we certainly are encouraging businesses. We want to fill our businesses. By the same token, we do have to be cognizant of the taxes and the assessment that's currently on the rolls for these businesses, because we don't want too much of the tax burden to go back on our homeowners. So other than that, I appreciate the time as always, Chris, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, John. Does anybody have anything else they may want to add? Rick?
Yeah, Chris, I will. And again, I always appreciate it. John and I get a chance to talk. Supervisor Moffitt and I get a chance to talk quite often. And again, that was a great point that he just brought up on the pilots. The one thing I'm going to also include or add on to that is that there's a couple of different forms of pilots. And I'm going to use one example would be a pilot that was put in place when General Motors was here on Carriage Street, or even the buildings, the owners of the property up there now. Though that type of a pilot, the town, the village, and the school district are all engaged with the county, and we all have to come to an agreement and approve the pilot. And those types of pilots are usually a little bit larger. And what I mean by that is it's not just tax breaks on additions to the building or whatever, it's their taxes in general. That's one form of a pilot, in just a very basic form. The pilot for the Branson building was a pilot, as John had very well explained. We don't have any say in that at all. That is something that the business goes to the county, goes through a process, and we are notified. The village, the town, and the school district are all notified, and we can go to a public hearing to talk it through, but that is a county decision. They make that decision, and we basically have to live with it. So John's points were all very valid, and I appreciate him bringing that up. And in this case, with the Branson building in Hyzon, it does impact us for sure. But to John's point, we're very, very happy to see a building that's not going to sit idle, that 100 new jobs or thereabouts are coming in, and they're very good paying jobs. So again, I just wanted to add that into it. And again, great discussion. And John, thank you for bringing that up.
All right. We're all set then, right? Okay, everybody. Thank you again for watching this week's version of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. Remind you, we're here every Sunday at 1 o'clock on your favorite social media platform. Bye-bye for now.
I know. Thanks.
All right.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.